Hi, welcome to this week's Midweek Connection. My name is Todd Jordan. I serve as senior pastor here at Strawbridge United Methodist Church. I'm delighted that you've joined me. I wanted to share with you over the next 4 weeks a little bit about some emerging values that I've noticed that are just prevalent in our church congregation. They become more and more so over the past few years. And we actually took a look at these sort of 4 stated values that I articulated for our church council at our retreat a couple weeks ago. And we had an opportunity to have a conversation around each one and just sort of work with them. And so this week I wanted to share with you a value that's really based on a quote that comes from John Wesley. Some of you might be familiar with it. Back in the mid-1700s, John Wesley wrote this. He said, "Though we cannot think alike, may we not love alike. May we not be of one heart, though we are not of one opinion. Without all doubt, we may." And this is very much in alignment with what Paul writes to the church at Philippi in the 2nd chapter, where he writes, "If there is any encouragement in Christ, any consolation from love, any sharing in the Spirit, and any compassion and sympathy, make my joy complete. Be of the same mind, having the same love, being in full accord and of one mind." And again, this is not so much that we think alike. It's not so much that we vote alike. It's not so much that we have the same opinion about all of the many issues, pressing issues in society, in politics, with regard to economics, whatever. It does mean that as a church, we're called to live differently than in a world of division. We're called to love alike. And so what I would say, the way I would sort of rephrase what John Wesley says, is that we're not unified by ideology, by us all agreeing on things or voting for the same folks, but rather our mission to love the world. And so I would say, though we may not vote alike, can we not worship together? Can we not love together, serve, learn, and grow together? So I just want to encourage you. I know a lot of folks now are talking about the new administration in the White House and a lot of the changes that are going on in our country, especially around immigration. So I just want to say a word about that, but then I want to give you all this opportunity to remember that when these conversations come up in church, that we need to not be a church that expects everybody to be on the same page. So if you're in a small group, Sunday school class or whatever, recognize that while there might be a majority one way or the other, we don't want the minority voice to feel uncomfortable. We want to make sure it's a safe space, a brave space. We do have a number of church members who are new to our congregation because they were in churches where they were the minority voice of some issue or some conversation that happened, and they did not feel like they could stay there and they felt like they had to come here. So we want to be a place that respects everybody, that respects all different voices and different sides. Also remember, when people get their information from a particular news source, we may see things with one particular perspective, but others that get from another news source in this society may see things in a completely different way. We don't want to alienate them or belittle them. We want to remember that though we may not think alike, we can certainly love alike. And so I'd simply say, regarding the immigration conversation, which I know is going on in a number of Sunday school classes and small groups, and that's fine, I just say, remember, this is a very big issue. It's very complicated. If it were easily fixed, it would have been taken care of decades ago. But it's clear that up until now, government has not really done a whole lot with it. Now there's a new policy in place that involves deportation. And I would just say, listen, as a church, as Christians, we have to remember that while it is important, we want to be a country that respects laws and policy, we also don't want to lose our humanity and our sense of compassion and love for one another. So I would encourage you all to get the facts, to learn, and if you feel like you need to speak, call your local politician. If you feel like you need to get active, that sort of thing, that's fine. But remember, when you come to church, we want to remember that we worship together, we love and learn and grow, and we just want to make it a space where voices can be heard. And sometimes people just need to get stuff off their chest. And so sometimes one of the best ministries we can do for one another is just to listen, support one another. Again, even if we don't agree with their conclusions. So I want to thank you for being the church that Christ has created us to be, that lives in this Wesleyan spirit that says think and let think. And just as a reminder, though we cannot think alike, may we not love alike. We can, and I know you can, and I appreciate you doing that. May God bless you, and I look forward to worshiping with you this Sunday.